But first of all, being asked to expand 1 plus x to the 4, you could expand it manually, like i.e. actually, this might even arguably be the easiest method. Write 1 plus x squared, 1 plus x squared, which is going to become 1 plus 2x plus x squared, and then we're going to have lots of cross multiplying. Okay, that's when I multiply the 1 by all of these. This is when I multiply the 2x by all of these. And then when I multiply the x squared by all of them, get this, which will simplify to 1. I've got a 2x and a 2x, so 1 plus 4x. I've got an x squared, a 4x squared, and another x squared, so 6x squared. I've got a 2x cubed and a 2x cubed. Okay, and that's what I get. Now, you're not meant to do it this way actually, so let me just show you how I think you're meant to do it, especially because it's only 1 mark. I think you're meant to use binomial series. I just wanted to kind of remind you about that. That's where it kind of all starts when you learn about this topic. So this is your general expansion of a binomial series. And so we could write down that 1 plus x to the 4 is equal to, and now you can let a equal 1, b equal x, and n equal 4. So we'll get 1 to the 4, which is just 1, plus 4c1 a to the 3, which is just 1 times x, plus 4c2 a to the 1 to the 2, which is just 1 times x squared, plus 4c3 x cubed, plus 4c4, or it's just going to be x to the 4. Now 4c1 is actually just 4. You can use your calculator for this, or you can figure it out by hand using this idea. Then we've got 6. Okay, it's arguably a little bit quicker, and I think it's the way you're meant to do it, but it could be, make sure you can do it this way, but both are good. The quickest way, I don't know why I'm spending so long on this 1 mark question, but it's just important to kind of realize all the different ways you can calculate these things, this being the one that's intended. But the really quick way is to remember Pascal's triangle: 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1. And in this case, the coefficients of the 5th row give us the expansion that we need. Okay, so that would be actually the quickest method. Right, now I spent a little while on that. Part B seems like it's going to be quite straightforward, but in fact it is not. Use your expansion to determine the exact value of 1002 to the power 4. The key thing is this exact bit. And the problem is, let's just type in 1002 to the power 4. This is it in standard form, but this is not exact because your calculator rounds it here. There's going to be some more figures afterwards. And if you let, for example, you might think let x equal 1001, then this will not work because you'll get exactly the same situation. It won't give you the exact answer. So instead, what can we let x equal that's going to work? Well, we want 1002, and you might have covered that when you do binomial expansions, they work really well when x is small, especially when you do second year binomial expansions. They're actually only valid for small values of x, but we need to use it here as well. We need to let x equal 0.002, because then that'll give us 1.002, which is not that far away from 1002. We just need to times it by 1000. And so if it's to the power 4, then it's going to become, sorry, if it's, what I'm trying to say is, let me write that again. if we times it by 1,000, then we'll get 1002. If it's to the power 4, then we need to raise this to the power 4, and so it's going to be this times this. So if I can work out what 1.002 to the power 4 is, I just need to then times it by 1,000 to the power 4, which is 1,000,000 squared. But anyway, we can deal with that later on. Okay, let's have a go. So 1.002 to the 4 is going to equal, I think it's quite important now to take our time. It's 4 marks, but let's show all our working. So it's going to become 4 times 0.002, which is going to become 0.008, plus 6 times x squared, now we're actually given this in standard form on my calculator, but that is because I've put it in a particular number format, and this, I didn't actually know this until today. I knew there were 2 formats, but I didn't know which was which. But if you go to Shift and into Setup, if you click Number Format, there's Fix, Psi, but there's also Norm. And if you go to 3 and then select Norm 2, instead of it going into standard form, you can get it into a decimal, and that's going to be really useful. It's automatic because we don't want to leave our answer in standard form, because we already saw, well, we might leave it in standard form, but we don't want to have standard form along the way, basically. I'll explain why in a minute, but we're going to get 0.00024, because we're going to have to be adding these together in a minute, and it just makes sense to have it as a decimal. Okay, the next one's going to work out in a similar way, but it's going to become 4 times 0.0002 to the 3. And again, because I've got it in this format, it looks quite good. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros and then a 3, 2. And then there's actually one more. And this tiny little number is, I can't actually get it as a decimal, it's so small, and that is the one that's being missed when we write it, when we did that bit at the start without, when it just wrote it in standard form, it misses this bit out, 1.6 times 10 to the minus 11. So this is for you more than anything, just note this small number that we need to then add on. Because with my calculator, I can add most of these together, 0.08. And even my calculator can even handle that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Zero, 2, 4. 0, 3, 2. But remember, that was what I had in my calculator at the start. And if I add on, say, if I was to add on now 1.6 times 10 to the minus 11, my calculator can't deal with that. It just doesn't include it because I have too many digits. It's not added it onto there. So I need to add it on manually. And if I move my decimal place 11 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, I think that should be the one there. It's 1.6 times 10 to the minus 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's right. And then another 6. If I add these together, whew, it's taking a while, but we'll get there. That's actually my number. And here's the crucial bit that gets cut off by my calculator. So, finally, we're nearly there. 1002 to the power 4 is going to be 1000 to the power 4 times this. And 1000 to the power 4 is actually going to be, this is 10 to the 3 raised to the power 4. It's going to be 10 to the 12. So in standard form, and it's actually absolutely fine to leave it in standard form, it's going to be 1.008024032016 times 10 to the 12. That is my exact answer, which doesn't truncate any of it. Difficult question, just not difficult in the sense that it's hard to understand how to kind of get an approximate answer, but difficult, I think, to get that very last little bit. You have to use, as far as I can see, the 0.002. You get away with doing some of my steps a lot quicker. It's this final one. It's this 1.6 times 10 to the minus 11. You have to be really careful with. I think you have to do it by hand. Take your time and get to here. Okay, well done for watching. I hope that makes sense.